Welcome to the Spoilers of the Damned podcast. Spoilers of the Damned podcast. Hello and welcome to Spoilers of the Damned Twin Peaks edition. Episode 5 is the episode that we're here to talk about today, so obviously if you haven't seen it, go away. But if you have seen it, welcome. We've seen it too.
Mm-hmm.
And overall thoughts before we get into the nitty-gritty. I enjoyed it a lot. I think it's really starting to pay off in terms of the many seeds that they've planted are finally starting to kind of come together. Do you think?
Yeah, no, I agree. It may feel a bit slower to some people, but that probably they have to, remember that the last 2 weeks we've had 2 episodes back to back.
Yeah.
Shown at once, so this one was obviously going to feel like it's not got through as much, but at the same time I think they managed to not cram but put a lot into one singular episode.
I was thinking about it. I thought because we've not got 2 episodes to talk about, we've only got 1 episode to talk about this week, that the podcast might be shorter, but actually I think it might end up longer because a lot of stuff happened, and we kind of checked in on a lot of kind of storylines that are kind of going on in the background. So I think eventually they're going to coalesce and come together, but at the moment they're still kind of bubbling away, many different pots on different stoves. So, but yeah, I loved it. I must confess, still my favourite part of any episode at the moment is Coop as Dougie, going on a journey through life, the human condition and coffee. I love how last week we were talking about he was. We thought he might be coming back because he said his first independent word. He's still not back. But
no, still quite a way off.
Yeah, but we're getting there. And and interestingly, that key is going to end up back in the Twin Peaks in the what is it? The Great Northern.
The Great Northern, yes.
Yeah, so. Someone pretty soon is going to find out that Coop is actually alive and well somewhere, even if he's not exactly sure where or what is happening around him.
Bless him, he has absolutely no idea.
I read an interview this week that basically was Carl McLachlan saying it's kind of like he's a newborn baby, and so it's like he's experiencing the world and he has to learn and kind of rediscover who he is. So
I can see that.
Yeah. And he's the cutest baby ever.
Yeah, he is. I mean, he was stuck in there for 20 plus years, so
exactly.
I mean, obviously the reason why he's a little strange, like a newborn, is obviously because Mr. C's still in our reality, not in the lodge, because he was supposed to switch places with him. But I also think that being stuck in the lodge for however long can't really help either.
No. And we'll get on to Mr. C and his magical powers of telephony, basically. But yeah, may as well start where the episode starts, and that's with Janie E dropping Cooper off at Dougie's workplace. I thought it was fitting with the kind of the nasty suits and the vanity license plate that he must work at an insurance company, and yep, sure enough, he does. And all these scenes were just so magical. I loved the whole thing. The way he was following his his nose for coffee. And the one thing I wanted to bring up, especially that I feel is really interesting, and we're going to find out as we go along what exactly it means, or at least I hope so, is that kind of green flash he sees on that guy.
Yes.
This was very interesting, I thought.
Yeah, it's almost like I don't know if it's because of some kind of influence from the Black Lodge because he's been there for so long, or what really. But I'm interested to see what else.
It's hard to tell whether it's whether that is again the lodge, sort of in the same way that in the casino it was leading him towards the jackpot machines. It could be more guidance from the lodge, or it could be some of kind of Cooper's innate detective skills.
Yeah,
coming back.
I thought that as well. I thought maybe it was because he was always good at reading
files.
people. Yeah, well they always
Agent.
agent. He was always really good at reading people. I remember in the original series when he interviews Bobby Briggs for less than 5 minutes, and right away he knows he didn't do it. He just even writes a message out to Sheriff Truman just saying he didn't do it.
Yeah.
So that wasn't him. So maybe it could be a mixture, or it might just be his ability to read people. But all the scenes with Coop were great again. His constant look of confusion.
Yeah, and I love the bit where he's the elevator stops and everyone just yells at you. It's perfect. And I've already managed to skip ahead. There was another bit I wanted to talk about, and that was the bit where Coop is staring at Sonny Jim and he cries. He has like a single tear roll down his cheek. Yeah, I wanted to ask you what you thought of that. Because I mean, I've got an idea what I think it means, but I want to see if it stirred anything in you.
I'm not sure. Really.
Well, let me tell you how I saw it, okay? Because and I might just be reading into it, but I always got a sense from Coop that although he was a bit eccentric and a bit kind of he's dedicated to his work, I always got the idea that he did want to have a family at some point and to have a life and a family and children. Maybe. And that's kind of been robbed from him a little bit.
Multiple times.
Yeah, exactly. So I've kind of got a sense like it's almost that he was kind of lamenting the fact that he doesn't have it. That like even Dougie, who's a facsimile and not even real, managed to kind of have a family. But at the same time, it might also just be that he has a connection with children as well, and sort of like on that level. So maybe it's just something to do with that.
No, it could be something to do with that. I'm not sure. Maybe, I mean, hopefully. Well, hopefully it is Lynch, so we might not find out. But we might find out in the long run. No, I wasn't sure about that unless it was, or if he had memories of Dougie. I'm not sure. I'm not sure where they're going with that. You could be right. But
well, I think it's a case of I might actually be reading a bit too much into it, because there's another thing that we'll get onto later. But actually, we may as well get onto it now. I mean, those scenes with Dougie in the building kind of culminate with him leaving work and kind of becoming obsessed with that statue outside.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a cowboy, isn't it?
Yeah,
I think it's like a stereotypical cowboy.
Yeah, and this was another thing that kind of I think it's what you bring to it. So sort of the things that I've seen and the influences that have affected me, I can see them in this, but other people might not, and Lynch might not have even kind of conceived it that way. But long story short, I think you're sort of vaguely aware of the Dark Tower series, yeah?
I'm aware of it, yeah. I know of it. I've never actually read it, but read the series, but I know of it. I know.
Yeah. Well, essentially, there is a main character called Gunslinger, and he is the last gunslinger. So, but there's this nifty thing. The world that he comes from is kind of like a world that's after ours, where maybe nuclear war happened, and it's all implied. We don't get like explicit kind of breakdown. But essentially, the idea is that he kind of he embodies all these kind of virtues of a leader and someone who will guide people through tough times and has a good heart and all these other things. And one of the characters who comes into contact with this gunslinger, she kind of likens him to JFK because she's from the 60s. That's where she's living when she comes into contact with this character. Okay. And she's saying how she got a sense like JFK was the last gunslinger. Like, even though he didn't have a gun, even though he, was just a politician, he was kind of like, he was a virtuous kind of like, he stood for good. Yeah. Now, obviously, I'm not saying that that is exactly what's happening there.
It's
But
time.
the way that Cooper looks at that statue, which is of a gunslinger, someone who brings balance, or at the very least kind of like a lawful, neutral kind of order to the world. And I think that is something that he used to be. That he was eccentric, and he was human. He had his flaws as well, but he was always kind of. I got a sense of virtue from him. I got a sense from him and from the guy in Fire Walk with Me. I forget his name again. I can't remember.
Chester Desmond.
Yeah, and it's like all of those kind of like slightly eccentric, slightly kind of weird, but kooky and fun and peaceful people who have a strong sense of what's right and wrong. I mean, like he says, his I can't remember what episode it's in, but it's the one where he goes, "I woke up with a strong feeling like of the people of Tibet and their struggle." It's like it's all about justice. And I feel like the cowboy, I think Coop could see a bit of kind of like this idea of a justice or a gunslinger who brings order kind of in that, and in himself. It's something that resonates with him in the same way that the word agent does, or the word case files do, or indeed the way coffee does.
He loves his coffee. Every time someone says a word that he remembers, that he recognises, I'm almost sat on the edge of my seat, just like, come on, come on.
You're almost there.
Come on, do it. I want Coop back. Do it.
Just willing it to happen.
Practically. On the edge of my seat, like, yes, this is it. This is it. God fucking damn it.
Yeah, I feel like every episode he is getting closer. It's painfully slow. But I mean, well, we'll get onto it later. But this hour of television just completely flew by.
It really did.
And when I definitely believe this was deliberate. When Lynch cuts to the bar and the music starts playing, I thought, no, the episodes can't be over.
Yeah, I was just about to. I wanted to talk about that actually. I was just about to mention it. When it cut to the Roadhouse, I audibly let out a no.
Yeah, me too. In fact, the service I was watching it on, I kind of pressed the button on it so that I could see the timeline, because I thought there's no way. There's got to be at least like 5 minutes left. I thought it can't be 5 minutes of. I think it is actually one of David Lynch's children playing the guitar. It can't be 5 minutes long, this scene, and no, it wasn't. But I was scared there for a second.
So was I, because I think all but the 4 episodes before it had all ended. Well, 1 and 2 basically like one episode.
Yeah.
But all the ones that we've seen before all ended at the Roadhouse with a musical number. So yeah, I got very worried, and I'm sure that, like you said, that was intentional. He was trolling us. Because it's Lynch, and he's a bastard.
Well, getting onto another element of the episode that I feel very much trolled us is the mystery of the golden shovel has been revealed.
What the? That was so weird. It was just so strange.
Oh, it was one of the funniest things I've seen in a long time, actually. For anyone who's not familiar with Alex Jones, it's pretty blatant parody of Alex Jones, and yeah, and it was perfect. It just kind of fits with Dr. Jacoby, I think.
Yeah, because he always was a bit eccentric. He was always a little strange, wasn't he? You got an idea that despite I think he was a psychiatrist or psychologist.
Yeah.
You got an idea that he didn't really fucking care about anyone.
Yeah.
He's just doing his job. So he's gone from that to it's like he was, because he never really cared about anyone. It's almost like he was, somewhat conning them. Now he is a complete and total con man.
Yeah.
Which I wasn't expecting at all.
It was just a beautiful, crazy diatribe where I think even him as a character got lost in it and didn't realise where the hell he was going with it.
Yeah, because he kind of has to stop himself.
Yeah, he has to stop.
He comes down. What does he call himself? Was it Dr. Amp or something?
Dr. Amp, yeah.
Dr. Amp.
Which is interesting because, the whole thing about Twin Peaks and electricity. It's interesting. Some people were saying that, gold is a conductor of electricity and he's spraying the shovels gold or something. I thought that was a bit out there. That doesn't instantly make it a great conductor of electricity,
No,
just spraying it with gold.
Gold paint. Now I can conduct.
But it was interesting. He's called Dr. Amp, and he does have golden shovels, and his viewership as well. I mean, we can't assume that they're the only viewers, but we saw Nadine, which was nice.
Yes.
And
Jerry.
Yeah, that's it. Ben's brother.
He seems to have just turned into some kind of weed smoking hippie like character. I have no idea how, because I don't remember him getting like that in the second season. But
no, he was a bit zany, but
yeah, brought back all the cheese, but
yeah,
and the bread. But
it was kind of food centric. Now he's weed centric.
Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, it's weird. He's like growing a beard out, and he dresses kind of scraggly. So I no idea, but yeah, it was nice to see Nadine as well. Even
Nadine looks great. I mean, some people pointed out that it looks like she's watching from some kind of home office. It looks like she's done well for herself.
Yeah,
might well be those sliding rails.
Yeah, I think it's gonna play into that, which I have no problem with, because that's funny.
Yeah.
Didn't see any of Big Ed though, which is a shame. But
no, I'm holding out for that. I mean, I saw the red carpet before the premiere, and he was on the red carpet, so it was awesome just to see him, talking on the red carpet. But yeah, I would love to see the character.
Oh, yeah, so would I.
I mean, other previous character that was shown this time that we haven't seen before was what's the lady's name?
Norma.
That's it, Norma.
Norma Jennings.
Yeah, Norma and Shelley. It seems like time has kind of stood still for them a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, you can obviously Norma the actress is always like older than the actress Madchen Emick that plays Shelley Johnson, but she didn't. I don't think she looked too bad. She looks her age. It looks like she's aged gracefully and hasn't resorted to any kind of like surgery or plastic surgery, unlike Lara Flynn Boyle, who had lots of shit done to her face, and it's going to hit us all. Just accept it. I know it's easier said than done, but age gracefully, fuck it. Some people are into that. But no, yeah, it was nice to. It's just one of those things where when they cut back to previous older characters, they're not in it too long, so it's nice to see them without it becoming too gimmicky.
Yeah,
and they are doing a job of setting things up, and there seems to be a form of history repeating itself with who I presume is Shelley's daughter.
Yes, yeah,
and new bad boy. He's not the baddest boy, as we found out from.
No, he's not edgelord.
Scary motherfucker from the Roadhouse. No. He was really unsettling, and interesting that he's in the credits. He is credited as playing Richard Horne.
Yes, I saw
very,
that.
Very interesting, and we also find out who is helping what I assume is helping the distribution of the drugs.
Oh, the cop dude.
Yeah, the dick.
Yeah.
I think they didn't change. No drugs changed hand, but there was a lot of money in the cigarette. Packet. And it's they don't have to tell you that, which is good because it does mean that Bobby isn't involved.
Yay! Yeah, no, it's the asshole one. That's fine.
Yeah, so it's fine. So they can just kill him. It's fine. He can just get run over or something.
Yeah, but some other interesting tidbits about those scenes involving those characters. First off, the guy. The lady we're assuming is Shelley's daughter. I can't remember what the character's name is, but I think it's Becky. But
Becky.
She's apparently married to that other character, that kind of like a druggy loser. And that druggy loser who also has that scene. Apparently, I didn't realise this while I was watching, but the scene he has with the guy who tells him he's a waste of space. That guy's Mike.
Yes, that is Mike.
Yes, I didn't realise it while watching, but I read it afterwards and it clicked. And I went, "Oh yeah!"
I do like the fact that the two rebels in the original series have become, one of them's become a well-to-do deputy in the sheriff's department, and the other one looks like he's running like a car showroom or something, and he's doing quite well for himself. I'm like, that's kind of nice to see the two of them actually doing okay.
Yeah. And the whole thing as well with those kind of like children characters showing up is that it kind of illustrates how there is still this kind of like weird cycle of kind of bad behavior and drugs in the new generation.
Yes.
But yeah, I'm super glad that Bobby's not involved.
Yeah, so I was like, no, come on, yes. Very happier than I should be. It's like, yes, get in.
Other developments that happened, we saw that Dougie's car was rigged to blow, and the people who showed up to try and steal it found that out the hard way. Yeah,
which was I think it was intentionally quite amusing as well, because David Lynch has a very dark sense of humour. I mean, what was weird is that because they don't really show they show part of the explosion, but obviously you don't see the people get hit by the explosion. So I thought, oh, they're not going to show that because it's too violent. And then the camera pans down to they're burning corpses and just lingers on them.
That poor kid. I mean, he's already got like a bit of a shit situation indoors, and then he steps outdoors and the car blows up. He gets shouted at, chased away, and then it blows up.
And he's I assume it could be his sister. I assume it's his mother, who it looked like she was trying to kill herself in the last time she was seen. Just kind of wakes up and just wipes the drool off of her face, and that's your scene with her.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see if anything plays out with her, or if they're just kind of side characters who just appear, because she's got. There's quite a big deal about the fact that she's sitting there with playing cards, and I mean, Bad Coop, Mr. C, had that playing card with a kind of thing scrawled on it, and she also said 119, which is 911 backwards. And you know how people who say things backwards are.
Exactly. I think our previous theory that the people trying to kill Dougie have been hired by Mr. C. I think our theory of that holds water now, considering the woman that they were speaking to on the phone.
Yes, the woman who's a warrior.
Yes, and she input something into that black box we saw in, I think it was in Buenos Aires, Argentina.
Yes, because she texted something along the lines of Argent, as in presumably for Argentina, and then I forget what the number underneath was, but I think it might have been 2.
Yeah, I think it was 2.
And it flashed twice.
Yeah, and then Mr. C, which we'll get to both his scenes, actually, we'll just do them together, I think it's a good idea, but later on his scene, he makes a telephone call and it does something to the black box. So I think it's pretty obvious that he hired them to do it. Yeah, because it makes sense. It makes sense because if we know that one of them has to die, so he knew that he knew it was going to happen, and that Coop would trade places with the with Dougie Jones instead. So you kill him, and then Mr. C can go about murdering and killing people. Murdering and killing people, the same thing. Murdering and raping people and doing all kinds of horrible things for himself and presumably Bob as well. Yes. Which we will. Well, obviously that's a nice segue into his scenes this week. Actually, fuck it, let's do it now. I really liked the scene when he's just laying in the prison cell. Yes. And then he goes to look in the mirror. And as soon as he went to the mirror, I was just hoping, yes, please do it. Please do it. Just even if it's stock footage of Bob's face looking back. Because they show it's actually two of my favourite shots in the second season of the doppelganger and Bob laughing together in the lodge, which is just all kinds of nightmare fuel. Yeah. And then Bob looking, Bob inside the doppelganger looking through its eyes and seeing his own reflection in the mirror. So they showed that, which was great, and I was like, come on, do it. And then it's a really strange, again, another strange effect in this series, but
so creepy, so really atmospheric.
Because I thought something was happening to his face. I thought because I first noticed it on his lips, because his lips thin out. Yeah. I just thought it was like Carl McLachlan pulling some kind of expression himself. Yeah. And it wasn't until you could see faint grey lines in his hair appearing that I realised his face was kind of half morphing into Bob.
Yeah, and his nose is kind of a bit more pointed, so kind of like it looked like first like his face was stretching, but then you could see it was kind of like those features. And then but what he says is interesting. He says, "Oh, good, you're still with me." Yes, and I feel like in these first few hours we've had an awful lot of mystery thrown at us, which is great. But I also feel, I mean, for me, until I read about it and I worked out that Bob and the doppelganger came through together, and that they're kind of sharing the body of the doppelganger. I didn't quite understand. I thought it was literally, especially with the end of season 2, you kind of see Bob in the mirror. You think, oh, it's just Bob. Bob is now in Coop.
Yeah,
but it's not quite that simple.
No.
And I feel like that can fly over a lot of people's heads. So this is kind of well-needed clarification that just kind of everyone who's not up to speed watches this and goes, oh, okay, I get it.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is really rare, but good.
Because I think previously, the way I've always looked at it is that the people Bob has inhabited before, like Leland, for example, he wasn't always in control of Leland, and when he wasn't in control, Leland was Leland.
Yeah.
Whereas because they were able to get the doppelganger out instead of Coop, I would assume Bob can take control when he needs to, but at the same time, the doppelganger is inherently evil because it's literally Coop's doppelganger.
Yeah, so it's kind of like they're both along for the ride.
Yeah, so it's even worse.
Yeah.
Because when Bob's like, I'm bored, and just wants to fuck off somewhere else, the doppelganger can still go around and just murder people and do really horrible things to people. And
I mean, I think it's good as well because after that scene where he puked everything out and came very close to entering the lodge but didn't. I think it's important that they show us that Bob is still with him. So
yes,
it was a very good way of doing it.
And that does mean that there's a huge chance that we will see more of Bob through stock footage because I've used quite a fair amount of him actually now.
Well, he was credited in the episode, which I felt was really good. It was a really nice thing to see.
That was really cool. So maybe they'll just superimpose his face again, or we'll only see him when he's inhabiting someone else's body. Just get around it like they did because when when Bob was in control of Leland on camera, it was just Ray Wise. Obviously, you could see a reflection of Bob, and sometimes it was show Bob in his place and vice versa. But I think they can get around it like easily enough. So but yeah. I was gonna say, so that happened. That was awesome because we got Bob, and I've been waiting for Bob. And then we might as well just go into the only other scene with Mr. C, which is when he gets his phone call.
Yes, his very private phone call.
Yeah, and really freaks out the not the prison guard. He was there.
Yeah.
The
warden or the superintendent.
The warden, yes, the warden. And he mentions something about Mr. Strawberry, and the warden starts to look very uncomfortable.
Yes, which is interesting, and we'll get on to that. But the first thing I want to say about the phone call is I found it really darkly funny when he looks up at the camera and he says, "Now that everyone's here,
I'm going to make my phone call."
Yeah, it was perfect. But yeah, Mr. Strawberry. Now, the subtext that I picked up when I was watching that scene, and I don't know if it was intentional or if I just read the scene wrong, but the way it was being shown to me was seeming to imply that Mr. C has knowledge of something to do with a Mr. Strawberry that the warden has also knowledge of, so something potentially that the warden did wrong or bad to someone that he has knowledge of, and how would anyone else know? Sort of thing. That's what you got, yeah?
Yeah, because it was only the warden that was reacting quite surprised and shocked and a little flustered, whereas the other two were just like, "What the fuck's he talking about?"
Yeah, at first I had a horrible feeling that it was some kind of like childhood pet or something.
Yeah,
because I don't know many people called Mr. Strawberry. And it would be also the kind of thing that he wouldn't tell anyone, so how would he know? But at the same time, how would he know? I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe he just picks up on stuff.
Yeah, maybe. Well, maybe maybe it's one of those things we'll just never know. But what proceeds is, I thought it was a really cool scene where he's just random. It looks like he's just randomly entering numbers, and it sets all the electrics just, and again it's all back to electricity again.
Yeah,
all the electrics just go absolutely haywire. And it looked like it was changing the surveillance footage to just random clips from TV shows.
Yeah, like TV shows. Yeah, I saw that.
And then he gets through to a number, and all he says is it the cow jumped over the moon, and just puts the phone down.
It's so fucking Lynch. It's
He's like,
just...
the what? And then
Of course it is.
Argentina, and then the black box turns into I don't know what, like a bit of rolled up tin foil.
It looked a bit like, it looked like one of those balls, like the ball that was inside Dougie, but different.
Yeah. I'm like, what the fuck am I watching? I love it.
I love that effect. It reminded me of like Morph.
Yeah, it was so weird. It's like, okay, there's
It's
the
like
black
stop
box.
motiony, very stop motiony.
It's like, oh, there's the black box again, and it's turned into it's shrunk into a small ball. Great, cool. Okay. I'm going to accept that. Actually, I'm just thinking, I remember thinking of Philip Jeffries again now.
Yeah.
Wasn't he in Argentina when he went missing?
I've heard this said on the subreddit today. Need to read into it, but yeah, something about the fact that he was in Buenos Aires or Argentina or something.
Yes, in 1987, Jeffries was in a hotel in Buenos Aires, Argentina.
There you go.
It all makes more sense.
The pieces, they're coming together very slowly.
Good. I knew. I thought as soon as it wasn't until because we saw the black box earlier, but it didn't say where it was, and it wasn't until it goes back the second time that actually tells you that it's in Argentina. And when it came up, I was sure. I was thinking, I'm sure that's where Philip Jeffries was. I was like, oh, maybe I'm remembering it wrong, but no way. I actually remembered it right. Yay, my memory actually works sometimes.
It's good. It's good.
Yeah, so obviously that's got to be something to do with Jeffries. I mean, it's too much of a massive coincidence that it happens to be in Buenos Aires, which is where he just so happened went missing. Ooh. So
it's a mystery.
Yeah.
But getting on to our last mystery of this week's episode, we didn't have 100% confirmation that the body is of Colonel Briggs. No. But it pretty much is almost confirmed at this point. We're just waiting on it. And it was great to see. Oh, I forget the actor's name, but the guy from Ghostbusters.
Ernie Hudson.
Yeah,
I marked out like a school kid when he came on screen.
I thought it was,
Hudson.
Yeah, I was like, oh, it's him, brilliant. And someone comes in and lets him know that Garland Briggs's fingerprints have been found again.
Yeah, this is the 16th time.
Yep, 16th time in 25 years. He knew him by name. He didn't have to. I imagine he's like under control of hundreds of thousands of colonels and sergeants and everything else. But he knew exactly who she was talking about immediately. So it's very interesting, isn't it?
Very. I think he looked good. He looks good. I mean, he's in his 70s now. I think he's about 70, 71, and he looks really fucking.
He doesn't look it at all.
He really doesn't.
He looks like he stepped off Ghostbusters too.
Yeah, he's gone to. It's like Danny Glover. I haven't seen Danny Glover recently, but for a long time, Danny Glover in particular, for a long time, like got to a certain stage, and then just looked the same for like 30, 40 years. So, dude looks good. Good for him, man. Still got the Ernie charm. So any scene with Ernie Hudson is equally, instantly more awesome just because it's him, because he's a cool guy.
Yes, definitely. I hope we get a couple more, because I mean, that huge list of actors that they released, I don't know what, a year ago or something. It is the case that most of them are turning up in just kind of very small bit parts, which is what we kind of thought anyway, because
pretty much.
You wouldn't be able to tell a story like this with hundreds of characters all getting their own development. So it is just nice to see them kind of like turn up and, like you said, kind of like mark out and just go, oh, it's great.
Yeah, I mean, I did it earlier in the episode as well. The guy that Coop calls a liar in the office is played by Tom Sizemore.
Yes,
I like Tom Sizemore. He's like a really solid character actor, and he always pops up in lots of stuff. And I think it's just going to be one, like, I think you're right, it's going to be one of those things where some of them will come back, like obviously Naomi Watts as Janie E. Jones, which is a name that I continue to absolutely despise having to say, because it's really awkward, and I'm sure that's the point. So you've got Dougie Jones, Janie E. Jones, and I can't remember the kid's name, but
Sonny Jim,
which is Sonny Jim Jones. It's like, that's a stupid family.
Yep.
But I think most of them are going to be just like, hey, I'm like Michael Cera. I don't think Michael Cera's coming back. It's like, hi, I'm Michael Cera. Yeah. I'm playing a really weird character. Bye. Because we're still yet to see like Tim Roth, who I'm really looking forward to seeing because I fucking love Tim Roth.
Yeah.
Laura Dern, and Monica Bellucci. She hasn't shown up yet. There's like a long, quite a considerable amount of people.
Yeah, I'm still looking forward to some of the musicians as well. I'm hoping they're not all like playing actual songs on, say, like on the stage or something.
Yeah, although I'm still absolutely dreading Trent Reznor's part. It's like, hi, I'm Trent Reznor. You know, just wanting to just be in the just like my uncle said at his at the most recent Double R show. It was like, even if he's just in Double R Club, Diner, sorry, that's no show, and just says, "That's a damn fine piece of pie," and then just fucks off, and that's it. Because I don't want him in a substantial role. I don't think he'll do a job.
Yeah,
I just don't think he will.
Well, I think
like
what we've seen so far is those people are going to get just kind of bit parts. They probably kind of either knew Lynch or had worked with him before, like with Trent, and just go, "Can I be in it?" And he's like, "Okay, yeah, I'll write you a part," or yeah, you could do this bit.
Because you see, the thing is, we've already got Krista Bell, and she's fucking terrible. So we don't need another. We don't need another musician or songwriter that can't fucking act. Because she wasn't in it long, but it was a cool scene when she's like looking at the fingerprints. Because you picked up on the fact that Mr. C's fingerprints are the exact flip. They're like a literal mirror flip of Coop's fingerprints. But there was two things that really distracted me in that scene. Was oh my god, the product placement. I'm like, gee, I really want an Apple. I want an iMac now. A lot of Apple. Products in this episode.
What's his name?
Phone.
Truman Senior. Yeah.
When he moves the phone so you can see the Apple logo. Like, I'm talking to someone on the phone.
Oh, and we didn't even touch on his crazy fucking wife.
Oh, that was so strange. Oh, we'll have to get back to that in a second. That was Nadine-esque.
Yeah.
But so I mean, it distracted me like the gee, I really want to buy an iMac now. And I know what she's supposed to be doing in the whole scene. She's supposed to be going through, looking at all this stuff intently, and quizzically, and she's confused. Like,
yeah, because as Cole said, she's got the stuff.
She's got the stuff. Any time to do that voice, I'll do it. Yeah, and she's going through, and she's supposed to be kind of confused. And wait a minute, she's realizing, the fingerprint's different. I bet she's doing it in such a way. It was like watching a robot trying to act like a human.
Yeah, it was.
She's like the way her head's moving, and she's blinking. It's like she's doing that thing that I see people doing sometimes when they're trying to act, and they like force themselves to blink. It's like, stop doing it. It's like, why is she in this?
Either she's an amazing actress because that's exactly what Lynch has told her to do, or
unless she's like a fucking Martian from the Black Lodge or something. Maybe she's supposed to be like. I haven't read the secret history of Twin Peaks yet, 'cause I know that her character's from there, but my god.
She does seem very devoid of personality so far.
Like, the only good thing I've heard people say is like, she's hot, she's attractive. I'm like, yeah, but you know, Twin Peaks has always had attractive female actors that could act, or actresses, sorry, that they could act. No, it's just confuses me. But yeah, we've already got her. We don't need Trent Reznor stinking up the joint as well. Sorry, Trent. Just go and complain about your fans some more or something. Go, I'm not a rock star. Just go and cry into your millions of dollars because it's so hard.
This is going to sound awful, but every time I think of Trent Reznor's face, I think of the engineers from Prometheus. They have the same kind of face. I think it's the nose.
Oh no! See, he ruined that as well. Get out of Twin Peaks,
I ruined
Trent.
Prometheus for you.
No, Trent did.
Oh,
Trent,
right.
It was him. It's your fault, Trent. You ruined Prometheus. Fuck off from Twin Peaks. Stay to your music. I like your music. Oh my god, I'm losing my fucking mind.
Yeah. Well, I think I think Hawk probably is as well at this point.
Oh Jesus Christ!
We only had the one scene with them, but it was just kind of fun and kind of just shows again how much patience he has.
He does, because I don't know how he didn't just lean forward and just slap Andy around the face and call him a fucking idiot. Okay, have you found any Indians? No. No, Andy. It's not what we're looking for.
I get a sense they're going to be there for most of the season, kind of looking at this stuff, at least until Coop turns up.
Yeah, it's going to literally be the fun episode. I found it. Oh, fuck, Coop's here. He's like, I'm going to go kill myself now. I've just wasted like weeks of my life. I'm getting old for this shit. Is there any? I'm trying to think. Is there anything else we're missing out? I mean, we've covered all the really important stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, we did finally see Robert Nepper and Jim Belushi as the two casino owners.
Oh yes, yeah, they beat that dude up, didn't they?
Yeah. Because they thought that he was in on it with Mr. Jackpots.
Yeah.
It's like, he was not in on it. I mean, Jesus Christ.
I know, but if someone turns up at your casino and wins 30 times...
Jim Belushi in a surprisingly intimidating role as well. It's like, Jesus, he can actually do... He's starting to look like his brother, but... Because he's always the thinner of the two of them. But, yeah, I was a bit bummed out. I was like, well, he looks like, Robert Nepper won't be playing Bob like I predicted, and I was absolutely wrong. But I did say it was only a theory, and so it was definitely fucking happen.
There's still time. Anything could happen.
Anything could happen. I think I got from the feeling with those two that that we might see them again.
Yeah, it seems like to return to the casino after we've left it as Coop. There must be something coming back to it then.
Because they're going to be looking for him as well. So he's got so many people looking for him, the poor bastard, and his brain's not working properly. And
he's got case file homework to do. He's still standing by that statue, stroking it.
Yeah, that was the story. It's like just staring at it initially, and then just starts stroking the shoes, and like, why is no one helping this clearly brain dead, brain damaged person? I was like, come on, Dougie, he's not well. Isn't it obvious that he's not well?
Yeah. And the episode finished on him as well, which I will say the music was great, and I do feel like overall the music is starting to creep into some of the scenes more.
It is. There was obviously when he first enters the building and the guy walks past carrying the coffee, so that's why he follows him. We had a bit of it was like, Twin Peaks music's back, great, cool, and there was a lot more of it during the scene. So I don't know, maybe you're right. Maybe it's one of those things. Maybe it's intentional that the more Coop gets back with his own personality, the more the music comes in as well.
I think so.
If that's the case, I could be completely fucking wrong. If that's the case, that'd be a nice little detail, because I really like the music. So
yeah,
I love the music. I like the music, so I listen to it regularly as well. Yeah, it's not really the type of music you expect to listen to at work, but helps me get by.
I need to check the soundtrack. Well, I'll probably get the new soundtrack anyway, but I really hope it's got the bit of music that was on the credits, because for some reason I just really like that piece of music.
I really liked the band they had in this one as well. I really liked that.
Yeah. Apparently, I believe this band was manufactured just for the show, and that is one of David Lynch's children playing the guitar, I think. I think he's credited as Riley Lynch or something.
No way, that's crazy.
Yeah,
I liked it. I thought they sounded good, and
it sounded interesting. So. It was really he was playing the guitar in a really kind of like strange, interesting way.
Yeah, I really dug it. I really loved it. Oh, yeah, it
well,
was good.
And we touched on Edgelord, but basically that music was kind of playing that scene out. He seems like a thoroughly pleasant human being.
Yeah, he's really, really, really nasty. It was he's played very well, because he comes across like a massive piece of shit. Yeah, but very it's quite intimidating as well. He's very unsettling individual.
Yes, it felt a bit. Well, it didn't feel forced, but it felt kind of like, you're getting like a very, very quick shorthand version of basically someone going, okay, yeah, this guy's a bad guy. Yeah, it's like, we get it.
Piece of crap. Yeah. It's like, you thought Bobby was bad. I thought Leo was bad. This guy just said he was going to rape someone.
Hooray.
I heavily implied he was going to rape her.
Yep.
And then the scene just cuts away. Like, can somebody help the woman that's being restrained against her will, please? Can we, guys? Can we call security?
And nice little tidbit as well is apparently the brand of cigarettes he's smoking is the same brand that kind of pops up in lots of things, including the X-Files.
Oh, that's cool.
The Morley brand.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Well,
Okay, that's really
I
cool.
feel like Twin Peaks and X-Files share a kind of not complete DNA, but they kind of they're both in the Pacific Northwest, is it? Kind of set like up there,
I
sort of
believe so, yeah.
near Canada, and they kind of have big trees, and it's FBI. So I think bits and pieces of it kind of share DNA, so it's kind of a cool thing that is running through it. But apparently, Morley Cigarettes is not just X-Files and Twin Peaks. It's got a history going back. Apparently, as a pretend
so
brand.
it's just like a TV show brand of
Yeah,
cigarettes.
yeah. Like
Okay,
like that place. I've never seen Commando, but the place they go to in Commando, that's also shows up in loads of films. I can't remember what it's called.
What, the supermarket?
No, the
Not the
the
supermarket,
island. It's like a Puerto Rican island. It's a
really?
fictional place.
It shows up in everything.
It's apparently it's in. I think it might be Die Hard 2. It's also in Commando. It's like this script writer who wrote some scripts, like used it like a dozen times. Like basically, instead of writing Cuba, it was called like Puerto something or whatever.
Puerto Rico.
Yeah,
Welcome to Bad Guy Island.
I think bad. Welcome to Bad Guy Island.
I wonder where he'll be.
Fictional South America. Yeah, I'm just gonna find this out so I can tell people this. But hang on, I'm gonna write Commando.
Careful, you might not like what you find.
Valverde.
Oh, that's it, because in a lot of the reviews for Commando, they always make fun of the way Dan Hedaya says it. He goes, Valverde. They go, where? Valverde.
Yeah, it's in Commando, Super Carrier, Die Hard 2. Other people, yeah. So other people have kind of referenced it, including a video game called Broforce.
Oh, Broforce, yes.
Yeah.
Broforce is very funny. Gets a bit old after all, but it's very funny.
So there
And
you
it
go.
runs like shit on the PS4. It runs like absolute shit on the PS4. It has like slowdown. It's like a 2D game, which is just absolutely inexcusable.
The one thing I was going to ask you is, did they ever release any kind of Twin Peaks game at all?
I think
Like even if it was like Amiga or something.
No, they never actually released a game for it. I mean, you'd think
Like an official one.
No, you'd think it'd be right up that perfect for point and click. Well, it is perfect.
Well, considering things like even like Blade Runner and other kind of dark plot-heavy things have games.
Yeah, Blade Runner had that point and click game is fucking great.
I've never played it.
You never played it? Oh, it was good. It was really good.
Yeah, it looks like they're just kind of like unofficial inspired things, but
yeah, there's a game that came out. I hadn't actually got around to playing it that I bought on Steam called Thimbleweed Park.
Yes, we mentioned it on the other podcast.
Which looks like it is heavily inspired by stuff like Twin Peaks and the X-Files and that. So
yeah.
I need to get around to playing that at some point. Once I finish everything else,
yeah,
like Persona 5, Tales of Asteria, then the Crash Bandicoot trilogy's out. Then I have more games. My Mike recently got me into playing Terraria, so great.
Oh, nice. I just got back into Minecraft because I needed something to play on my fucking Switch.
Yeah, exactly. I know, right? There's so many games.
Yeah, this will date this podcast, but today there was a Pokemon Direct, and they've gone, like a Nintendo Pokemon Direct, where they take a special time to go, we're announcing something, and it's like, oh yeah, it's Pokken Fighters on Switch. I'm like,
yeah, it's like
oh great, thanks
DX.
guys, I can save more money.
It's like, cool, so we did Mario Kart 8 and you're just gonna port the finished version.
Yeah, if you just announce like Pokemon MMORPG Switch version, like everybody in the entire world would be losing their shit. But no, it's just Pokken Fighters.
It's like, oh yeah, I need to get me some of that.
Yeah, but we're getting off topic.
Fuck them.
Like, massively.
But definitely. But no, there was never any official games. There was a fan-made game a few years ago. I did play it. It was made to look like an old Atari 2600 game.
All right.
And it was, you played as Coop trying to escape from the Black Lodge. It's just called Black Lodge Twin Peaks video game, and it's very authentically made. Basically, you just go through different rooms and you have to bypass obstacles. You have to like avoid Bob, avoid your doppelganger.
Oh yeah, I've got it up
and,
here.
and lots of different things. I played it. You have, I think, if you got to 5,000 points, I think that's when you unlock like a secret ending. But sometimes like because they'll like be screams, like you have Laura Palmer. You know that when the doppelganger sees a doppelganger, she just screams at him.
Yeah.
You'd have her, and like her screams would disorientate you and like reverse the controls. I remember it happened to me once. I went through because remember there's like the long hallways he goes through to go into the different larger main rooms.
Yeah.
I remember I was going through one of those and a scream hit me, so I went back through the door it just come from, and I ended up in the fucking the convenience store room from Fire Walk with Me.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, oh, cool, what do I do here? Oh, Bob got me. It's like, Bob just gets you there. And it ends with a digitized voice saying, how's Annie, and then laughs. But because it's a 2600 style...
yeah,
like,
I'm looking at some screenshots.
How's Annie? I'm like, that's cool. That's nice and authentic.
I think, I'm going to have to fire this up today, maybe.
It's surprisingly addictive because it's very, very simple. But, that's... in terms of video games, I think there was a board game.
Ooh.
I think there was a board game released way back when. It was the Twin Peaks murder mystery game. I'm pretty sure.
Interesting.
Yes. It's on. Well, there's a listing on Amazon, but it's currently unavailable. But I don't know if it was actually any good. Because it's one of those things that you don't hear about as much.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if it's actually good or if it's fucking terrible. So I'm not quite sure. It could be really good. I don't know, but that's the only game that came out for it. Yeah, it was I've got it here. Twin Peaks Murder Mystery Game, which is literally what it was called. That's on the box. It's a great title, guys. So, God, that really jumps off at you, doesn't it? Twin Peaks Murder Mystery Game. Good. I mean, you got to put gaming because otherwise people will just be confused.
Well, yeah, and I mean,
TV
apparently
show.
that's what Twin Peaks was about, was like solving a murder mystery, obviously, and like nothing else.
But yeah, I'm sure that was the only one that was officially released, I think. So I could be absolutely wrong, but I can't seem to find any
Interesting.
others.
Yeah.
I mean, you could just play Cluedo and just replace all the character pieces with Twin Peaks characters. It was Bob! Oh, I lost again.
You can only win if you say the person who killed you backwards.
But you have to do it perfectly. you have to do it perfectly, and they have people sometimes to record you as you're doing it.
Oh man, I can't believe something like that hasn't been kick-started or something. But
But then again, with the track record of previous kickstarted games, it's probably a good thing.
Yeah.
Because I've heard Ukulele. I mean, I've heard Ukulele is not terrible, but it's disappointing.
It's disappointing if you hyped it up in your mind to be anything other than what it is.
Yeah. Mighty Number 9, I thought looked like a piece of shit. And I have, at the moment, absolutely no urge to play Friday the 13th, the game.
Yeah.
It looks terrible. And it's also, like, I've just been playing, I've been watching people play it. Because I thought, I like the concept, that's a cool idea. One person plays as the serial killer, and the other characters can decide, they can, like, knock him out, but they can't kill him, they have to try and get away. And the kills that Jason can inflict on, like, the Jason player can inflict on the others is really cool. I like the concept, but the game just looks rushed, clunky, and there's something about the camera angle that just makes me angry. Whenever I watch it, it makes me really angry and frustrated. It's over the shoulder, but it's like kind of angled up, and it's down, and it's too close to the place. There's lots of instances of like just the camera is just fucking awful.
Oh dear.
And it just, whenever I see someone playing it, I just get really wound up because the camera just pisses me off. But it's not a good track record for kickstarted stuff at the moment. Like board games and that seem to be fine. It's the actual video games that seem to be taking it right in the fucking arse at the moment.
Yeah, I've only ever backed two. One was Ukulele, and the other one is Bloodstained by I forget his name, Iga.
Yeah, the creator of Castlevania Symphony of the Night.
Which looks like it should be alright.
That one probably has the most potential out of all of them. but they've already made the best Castlevania game ever made. It's called Bloodborne. It's Castlevania game. Yeah, so no, I think the closest anyone's ever going to get to a Twin Peaks game is either
Deadly Premonition, obviously. Yeah.
Thimbleweed Park or the Atari 2600 like game.
Yeah,
That's
and parts of Alan Wake as well.
Yeah, parts of Alan Wake. I think, main like big budget. I think that's the closest we'll ever come. But hopefully one day, who knows? Who
knows?
They randomly can make a really good video game.
Oh, can you imagine?
The Alien series.
I doubt it would happen, but if Lynch was to direct the video game, how perfect that would be. If you say to him, "Oh yeah, actually, you can do game overs, you can do kind of like Hideo Kojima shit," Lynch would be like all over that.
I'll do it. Let me in.
The only way to solve this puzzle is to turn the TV volume up to like 99.
Yeah, but you have to like shake your hand as you play it as well. So you have to talk like David Lynch the entire time.
into the microphone.
It's very, very good to see you again, my friend.
Oh man, Mr. C.
Anyway, it's very good to see you again, old friend. I said very backwards.
Yes, well, hopefully next episode we're going to see the kind of because he's had his phone call now. See the Cole and Albert again, hopefully.
Yeah.
Along with the knowledge that yes, the fingerprints are reversed. So.
I didn't actually. We forgot to mention it actually when we were talking about the previous episode when they mentioned going to find someone to regarding it, and obviously we said, well, jokingly said Diane, or could it be Audrey or Annie?
Yeah.
And there was one that I forgot to mention, which was it could be Sarah Palmer. I don't think I'm sure we didn't mention that, but it could be Sarah because she was the one that was able to see through Bob's disguises sometimes, because that's why she's kept drugged by Leland or Bob.
Yeah,
because she had like visions and that. So maybe she. No, I don't think we did. No, we didn't mention that.
No, we didn't. No,
that's because I've spoken to this about so many people. I'm just like losing track of everything. God damn it, Lynch! You're making my mind unravel once again.
Yeah, well, there's not so many memes this week, which is good. We need a break from the memes, I think.
It's going to take a while to top Mr. Jackpots. I think that's why the creators of these memes realise that gotta wait, because Mr. Jackpots is just too good.
Yeah,
it's just too good. The fact that Carl McLaughlin is sharing them just says it all.
That's beautiful. It's a celebration for all involved, which is nice.
Yeah, he's been sharing the mock-up album cover.
Yes, yeah, I saw he posted that today or yesterday. Or yeah. Call for help.
Because he comes across. Carl McLaughlin's always come across like a really cool guy, and he seems to embrace the cult following that the show's got.
Yeah, so it's nice. I think it makes all the difference. Because some people, they kind of try to distance themselves from it, and it's kind of sad, really.
Yeah, and then a lot of them end up regretting it. So.
Yeah.
It's their mistake, their problem.
Exactly. Alrighty, well, I think that pretty much sums up the episode, doesn't it? We're still enjoying it. We're still loving the mystery, and still wanting Coop to get back to normal.
I'm just like praying every fucking week now. Like, please.
Because he's the last shot of the episode, still standing by that statue. In my head, he's going to spend a week standing by that statue until the next episode.
Dougie, where were you? Agent.
Oh, I have so much tension as well because he didn't call those people to arrange paying off the debt they have.
Oh shit! No, he didn't do that.
No, it just makes me cringe. Like she says to him several times, "Make sure you call them," and I'm thinking he's not gonna call them.
He's not. Like, how can you not tell there is something wrong with this man?
Yeah, I mean, it's like you were saying, Tom Sizemore's character says something along the lines of, "You have another episode there, Dougie." Like people expect it from Dougie.
Just stares off into space, just saying random things.
Yeah,
Dougie Jones, Mr. Jackpots.
Call for help.
Call for help. Coffee.
Home. Anyway, I think we're all memed out.
Yeah. I think so.
So yeah, well, we'll just sit here and patiently wait until next week, where we'll see you guys. So thanks for listening, and yeah, enjoy the season, and we'll see you next week.
Yes. See you later.
Bye.
If you like Spoilers of the Damned, don't forget to subscribe and rate us on iTunes.
Team Wolfcat production.